Bulavinaka, my name is Litia and I'm from the beautiful island of Laos and I love listening to Today FM. Today FM rocks.
My name is Casey, I'm from Tabua. We love Today FM in Tabua. Today FM rocks.
My name is Selina, I'm from Tavenga Vengamba. I love listening to Today FM. Today FM rocks.
Pula, my name is Carlo. I love listening to the music in Today FM, in Malak Island. Today FM rock.
Today's hit music on Today FM.
In the news tonight, some ATS workers regret walkout. Sexual offences by police unacceptable, says PM. And police apprehend children out at night.
From the studios of FBC Suva, Jackie Spate.
Some of the air terminal service workers on strike since last Saturday today signed a letter of admitting abandoning their duties and return to work. ATS Chair Riaz Said Qayyum says operations at Nandi International Airport are continuing as normal with the assistance of its stakeholders and the majority of ATS workers who have stayed loyal and are manning Fiji's international airport. Kelly Vadala reports.
A letter was drafted today by ATS management for those employees who are willing to come back to work before Christmas. ATS Chair Riaz Said Qayyum says there are two versions of the letter for the strikers. One for those employees who left their jobs illegally and abandoned their positions on Saturday, and one for those who joined later.
We are pleased to say that some have already signed today because they want to come back to work. They don't want to stay out in the heat. It's absolutely hot in Nandi under the tarpaulins, and if it starts raining it'll get even more uncomfortable. So some have decided to come back because I think not just because of the heat but because they see the error of their ways.
Said Qayyum says ATSET rules clearly stipulates that these workers have to give 7 days notice to attending any meetings.
At least 7 days notice specifying the place, the date and the hour of any meeting. In case of special business, the general nature of that business shall be given in the manner hereinafter mentioned, or any such other manner as may be prescribed by the beneficiaries in the general meeting, etc., etc., etc. So basically it means that they had to give 7 days notice to their members. Now usually what happens, and traditionally this has always happened, when a notice is given for a meeting to the members, the notice is then put on the bulletin board. And that is how management finds out that there is a meeting coming up. So that's how management knows. And then once the notice goes up, then traditionally the union then writes to management saying, we want our members to attend the meeting, can you please let them go? And we are obliged under our agreement to let them go to attend the meeting. And you all know, and it's an established fact, that we didn't know anything about this until people had left their jobs.
He says the workers still have the choice to come back to work.
I believe we've reached a stage where some people feel very embarrassed. They don't want to admit that they have done wrong, and it's a face-saving situation now for them. And I appeal to all workers, we want to work with you, we will listen to you once you come back, and we'll go through all the issues that you have, but you must come back to work and you must admit that what you did was not right. In fact, so far it's cost ATS and everyone involved hundreds and thousands of dollars, and that is going to affect the bottom line of ATS in the long run, and that is going to affect the profits of the company, it is going to affect the dividends and the wages of all the workers at ATS. So who's on the losing side here? We're spending hundreds and thousands of dollars extra to keep the airport working at the moment.
ATS has 639 employees. About 300 illegally walked off the job last Saturday to attend a union meeting. Said Qayyum says the remainder are continuing with their jobs as normal. Kelly Vadala, FBC News.
Meanwhile, Air Terminal Services Employees Trust Secretary Vili Finau has objected to our story last night, where we said that when asked, Vili Finau admitted that ATSET Chair J.D. Singh was giving direction to the ATS workers over the last few days. According to the interview Finau gave yesterday, he accepts that the actions taken so far includes the views of officials, including Singh. Prime Minister Bainimarama has expressed dismay on crime statistics released last month, which showed some police officers are charged with sex-related offences. Bainimarama says this is unacceptable and Fijians deserve better from those entrusted with their safety. Speaking at the pass-out parade of over 129 new officers in Suva this afternoon, he reminded them that their jobs will not be easy. Savaratumbo reports.
Prime Minister Bainimarama says ordinary people are made victims by dirty behavior from some bad police officers.
I was greatly dismayed by the crime statistics last month, where we had 5 police officers charged with non-sexual offences and another 3 with sexual offences. That is completely unacceptable.
Bainimarama says he is glad these officers were brought to justice, which means greater transparency has been brought to this force. He told the new recruits to help the force to strip away any layers of corruption that remain.
It is your duty to be part of that effort. Your commitment to justice must extend beyond combating crime on the streets. You must also root out any within the force who abuse their positions for their own gain.
Meanwhile, the sacrifice and struggles for the past 6 months has finally come to an end for these new recruits. 25-year-old Kelepi Mudaki received a Baton of Honor award, while mother of 3, Vasiti Ratu, received the Commissioner's Book Prize award.
The Almighty God, to the man upstairs, for helping me achieve this great award. Without him, I wouldn't be here standing here.
I feel excited as well as I feel proud of myself.
It's not an easy thing, but it's a privilege to me.
Very proud of him. I couldn't believe that we actually made the 6 months, and it's been a struggle, but I really know it's worth it.
The Prime Minister says the government has set new expectations for all government employees, which includes the police officers as well. Sabera Tambua, FBC News.
Children as young as 9 years old have been seen hanging around in towns and cities past midnight and into the early hours of the morning. Police Chief of Operations ACP Rusiate Tunravu says these children were either in groups or on their own when found by police night patrol officers. Pranita Prakash reports.
In the last 6 days, police have run into 20 children between the ages of 9 and 17 who have been roaming at night in towns and cities.
This is holiday. They are just coming around and then they mingle around. But those are the avenues and the opportunities that they can be led to commit crimes. I'm not saying that that is the case, but these are some. So when they mix up, they group up, and then there are opportunities for them to see things that are on their way. That is when. So our role here is just a proactive role. Once we see them after midnight, we'll just have to bring them in, just normal questioning them on their address and all particulars taken, and then they are sent back to their various homes so that parents know where they are at that point in time.
ICP Tunravu says taking action against parents is the last resort.
Very responsible parents should look after their children, especially at this point in time. So laying charges or investigating parents is the last thing that we would like to do.
The Save the Children Fiji is also urging parents and guardians to know the whereabouts of their children.
It is the festive season, but whatever you do, please ensure that children are kept safe and children are protected and that you know where your children are at all times.
The children who were taken in by police while on patrol were from the Southern, Eastern and the Western Division. The police are calling on parents to be vigilant, as past trends have shown their children mostly go missing, get involved in criminal activities or become victims of accidents during this time of the year. Pranita Prakash, FBC News.
The Maritime Safety Authority of Fiji has launched an investigation into the tragic accident that claimed 3 lives when the cargo barge Kaiwai capsized last month while on a routine trip from Lautoka to Mbukama Island in the Yasawas. Chief Executive John Tunindao says they're expected to reveal their findings on the incident early next year. Maggie Boyle reports.
2 foreign nationals and a Fijian died last month when the vessel they were travelling on sunk in rough waters north of Mbukama Island. Only 2 bodies of those deceased have been found, and there are mounting questions as to what happened.
That investigation is still ongoing. Investigation has not been completed. One of the investigators had traveled down to the west. He's been appointed to be an investigator to look at this casualty, to interview the rest of the crew, and from there then he will make his recommendation to himself on the way forward.
With the Kauai line at an estimated depth of 70 meters on the ocean bed, any possible salvage of the vessel has been ruled out. While the Fiji Navy was concerned with the 40 tons of diesel on board, MSAF says it's not an issue.
Oil spill that was actually investigated by himself. They went down to the site, and there was no real pollution thing, because that was only a diesel oil that had slight diesel oil that come to the surface, which is not really damaging to the environment. If it's heavy oil, it is damaging. Diesel oil takes 1 day to dissipate, depending on the amount, dissipate and goes to the atmosphere, and that's it.
Findings from the investigation, according to Tunandao, is expected to take between 2 to 3 months to wrap up. Maggie Boyle, FBC News.
Still to come, Education Ministry to include app in curriculum. And Christmas Kalavata tradition continues. Stay with us.
Bula, kera mai singatoka, kera ndo tali taka na varorong na Radio Fiji 1 and domoy viti.
Ayaw na rin siya. Uti ko minasong buti ko lang, ndo tali taka na Radio Fiji 1 kina domoy viti.
Kaya ko sila tali, nagurara may naomanyi, nandunga. Gitu tali taki yang gitu Venezuela, nagudurong barong na Radio Fiji 1 na domoy viti.
Na Radio Fiji 1 na domoy viti na bonga ni BNN.
The Ministry of Education will include the Volavosa app in the school curriculum. The app will allow students and teachers to access the soft copy Tauke dictionary to enhance their knowledge of the language. Ana Ravulo reports.
The e-Volavosa app is the first of its kind and will allow students to differentiate parts of speech.
So what information they can find out are the parts of speech for particular words, like whether a word is a noun or a verb, an adjective or an adverb, but in the Fijian grammatical terms.
Dr. Tamata said that it will definitely have an advantage for students who take up Fijian as a subject.
So the advantage of app is that we can continue uploading information and data that would normally go into a dictionary. We can continually upload information so that it is current. Different from the printed version. Once it's printed, then it'll take a number of years to upload or to revise the hard copy. But with the app, we can continually upload the new words, new information.
Well, the language is a long language history, spread generation to generation to oral tradition, capturing it with ink greatly enhance the way we teach and learn. Now, with its translation to a mobile application with the Volavosa app, we will see that enhanced even further, bringing the Teke language into the 21st century.
Bani Marama says the app will assist children from preschool right up to tertiary studies. Ana Ravulo, FBC News.
There's been a boost in sales for businesses in Lambasa, with more and more people coming to town for their Christmas shopping. Eleanor Tarangai was in the town today and files this report.
For 2 weeks now, businesses in the small township of Lambasa have been busy, with people from all over Vanua Level coming in for their annual Christmas shopping.
I advise to our people in the Northern Division, don't do the last-minute shopping. The Christmas preparation has already started. All our business, shopkeepers, supermarkets, they are all ready for this Christmas sale.
Only 3 more days remain for shopping, and so far the sales have been good, with most shops attracting over 100 customers a day.
We've got our new stock from Thailand and China, so people know and they're coming in to buy from our shop.
Business is going well at the Christmas time. I hope the weather will be all right. For the Thursday and Friday, Saturday, the business will be good.
As people continue to flock to town for their last-minute shopping, retailers are recording some growth in sales compared to last year.
I think this year, the Christmas sale is going to boom. Because I have noticed this week, and it's a big number of people coming to Lambasa town, and definitely the last 2 days, that is Friday and Saturday, I think it will be very hard for anyone to walk on the street.
The Lambasa Chamber of Commerce has confirmed that major shops and supermarkets will be open until 9 p.m. from today until Saturday and 2 p.m. on Sunday. Eleanor Turangaibiu, FBC News.
The recent high demand of having a kalavato or same printed materials for an entire group in the festive season has boosted the businesses for fabric stores in Suva. This comes after many Fijians were seen flocking into various stores today, purchasing mostly bula materials for Christmas and New Year. Kelly Vadala reports.
With only a few days to Christmas, businesses are working on meeting the demand for fabrics needed to complete the festive look in many families, church groups and at weddings, even business houses.
There is a high demand in bula. We have wide ranges also in Suva as well, and we have festive season and the parties going everywhere, functions going everywhere, and like some people they come for the kalavata. We have a very good range for them.
We have pushed up our sales, and it has increased. We are doing better than last year. They come as a big group. They reserve the fabric. We do reservations too. They reserve the fabric. They buy as a group.
Many fabric stores say they even had to arrange for some materials from other Pacific countries to meet the local demand.
Many material stores in Suva says sale is expected to go up by this Friday as we near Christmas. But for now, the demand for certain colors for Christmas is starting to kick in.
Some they come for their family functions, some kalavata for the family weddings too. Some take about close to 10 meters. Some are for, if there is a big family, they can take for 15 to 20 meters.
You see, like other people from other Fijian people, they buy, like Indo-Fijians, they also buy the kalavatas too.
Meanwhile, kalavata sales are expected to hit a peak this Friday as we draw closer to Christmas and the New Year. Kelly Vadala, FBC News.
The Maritime Safety Authority of Fiji has launched a new website describing it a user-friendly portal packed with information. Launching the website, Infrastructure Minister Parveen Kumar said the website is interactive and will allow users first-hand information on new policies, safety requirements and well standards for seafarers and ships. MSAF CEO John Thunindao says the new site will allow them to streamline their operations.
With the new website also we have the new system, post-item system, that for online seafarers inquiries on certificates for seafarers. So that system we can also access it in Fiji. Anybody can access it in Fiji or from overseas.
Ahead in sports with Jamie Fastenok thanks Team Fiji, but we now join Akusita Tale for the latest in business.
Thanks, Jackie. Good evening. Coming up, visitor arrivals increased by around 4% last month. And in growing Fiji, roundabout rehabilitation progress as well. Stay with us.
Moala radada ranavika au tikongo na taunu singatoka ando talifaka na wakaronga na Bula FM number 2 na serve.
Ya dora chubuli kurnambili. Ibora ni batukara hambara binaranga. Do talitakina na wakaronga na Bula FM number 2 na serve. Bula!
Bula FM number 2 na serve.
Leading business tonight, provisional numbers released by the Bureau of Statistics show an increase of 4.3% in visitor arrivals last month. Over 65,100 tourists arrived in November, with Australia leading the table. There was an increase of around 5% in arrivals from Australia, 10.6% from the USA and 5% from New Zealand. However, decreases were recorded in arrivals from China, Canada, the UK, Japan and South Korea. Visitors arriving for holiday purposes accounted for around 75% of total arrivals. And we now join Sharon from HFC Bank with the latest from the money market.
Thank you. Let's look at what's making headlines in the financial markets today. The US tax reform bill seems to be dominating trading this week. However, the greenback gained support following release of US housing data and a larger than expected decline in their third quarter current account deficit. Meanwhile, New Zealand reported a slightly larger than expected current account deficit in the third quarter, of 4.68 billion compared to an expected deficit of $4.29 billion. Here at home, the Reserve Bank has released its monetary policy statement for December. Our central bank maintained its accommodative monetary policy stance and left the overnight policy rate unchanged at 0.5%. Domestic aggregate demand remained upbeat in the latter half of 2017 with strengthened consumption and investment activities. Inflation has remained low in recent months, with foreign reserves forecast to remain at comfortable levels over the near and medium term. And that's all for now. Thank you.
Thanks, Sharon. Now looking at today's currency exchange rate set this morning for the Fijian dollar. After making gains during the week, the dollar slipped slightly against most currencies overnight, but continued to gain against the Japanese yen. As for the commodities market, oil prices rose a few cents to 57.69 a barrel. Gold was up to 1,262 an ounce, and silver rose 1 cent to 16.13 an ounce. In growing Fiji tonight, the permanent pavement work is well underway at the Namboa roundabout outside Suva. This is part of the Suva Tiril Road upgrade project undertaken by the Fiji Roads Authority contractor China Railway 5th Group. The public is advised to take heed of the road closure of Golf Link Road from Namboa roundabout up to Nevis Motors driveway from today until January 20th. Motorists are advised to use detour options to access onto Ratundovi Road and to Ratumara Road. FRA is urging the public for their patience during this important work.
This has been going on for a few weeks now, and it has been causing traffic jam. We have to be patient because this will be worth it, as this development will enable us to have a runabout where we don't have to worry about dodging potholes.
And that's business this evening. Now to sports. Here's Jamie with the latest.
Thanks, Akasita, and good evening. Up ahead in sports, more Fijian weightlifters to be confirmed for Commonwealth Games. And Wallaby Samu Kerevi to make special visit to Koro Island. Details after the break.
मैं प्रेमिला वायरुकू रेकी रेकी से सुबह मेरी आँख खुलती है तो मैं मिर्ची एफएम सुनती हूँ। मिर्ची एफएम इज नंबर 1। इट्स सो हॉट।
हम लोग बार टाउन के कैरियर ड्राइवर लोगों ने हम लोग के मिर्ची एफएम सुनो अच्छा लगे। मिर्ची एफएम इज हॉट।
हाय, मैं संध्या नारिया रेकी से मेरे सारे दोस्त मिर्ची एफएम सुनते हैं। मिर्ची एफएम इज हॉट। आई लव मिर्ची एफएम।
हमें स्पिन टकता हुआ कि मिर्ची एफएम में सबसे अच्छा गाना बजे।
मिर्ची एफएम इट्स हॉट।
6 local weightlifters who competed at the Vanuatu Pacific Mini Games have secured places at the 2018 Commonwealth Games in Australia. They include the 3 gold medalists Manueli Tulo, Aileen Vikamatana and Apollonia Vaivai, and silver medalists Sarawaya Malani Puamanganga and Taniela Renimbongi. Mili Tavanga has more.
While these 6 weightlifters have confirmed their participation in the Commonwealth Games, more are expected to qualify soon.
We're expecting this number to go up as the ranking list, latest ranking list comes out from IWF and Commonwealth Games Committee. So we may get up to 9 athletes, which is a huge achievement for weightlifting.
Our local weightlifters have been preparing for the games in Levuka.
We've got two number 1 ranked athletes in the Commonwealth. Apollonia that you interviewed earlier and Eileen. We're hoping to get a few more medals. There's a lot of work. The team is already back from PMG Pacific Mini Games and already in camp in Levuka. Looking forward to a solid build-up to the Commonwealth Games.
Gold medalist Apollonia Vaivai says she hopes to better her lift and stamp her mark at the 2018 Games.
I'm looking forward to get a medal, and I'm training so hard. I was in Levuka. I just came in today. We're on training camp, starting our training camp again for the Commonwealth Games, and I'm training. It's not easy. It will be a very difficult game for me because there's a good competitors too from other countries. So I'm gonna give all I have.
Meanwhile, Fiji weightlifting won 9 gold, 5 silver and 10 bronze medals at the recent Pacific Mini Games in Vanuatu, which ended over the weekend. Melita Wanga, FBC Sports.
Meanwhile, apart from weightlifting, 5 national sports teams have booked their place at the Gold Coast Commonwealth Games in April. As Meli Tavanga reports, these include men's and women's rugby sevens and beach volleyball, as well as netball.
Fiji has a unique way of appreciating the effort of our local teams and players who have competed in any international meet. Expect more to come when our team returns from the Commonwealth Games.
Team Fiji has a tradition after every games when they come back. They have a Thanksgiving function, and this is basically to thank the athletes first and foremost for their performances, and also to take the opportunity to thank our sponsors, to thank the government, because government always comes to support us when we go to games.
Fasanok is currently working on the number of individual athletes who could qualify, but the government will render full support to those who have qualified and represent Team Fiji in Gold Coast.
On the medal tally with 23 gold, 27 silver and 23 bronze medals. We were competitive in all events. The big Fijian family, the 850,000 of us, we embrace you, we applaud you, we have been inspired by you, and we are so proud of you.
4 months away from the Games, the athletes have a lot of hard work and sacrifices to do if they want to be recognized at the world stage. Melita Wanga, FBC Sports.
Fiji-born wallaby Samu Kerevi, who is part of the Reach for Your Future Foundation, will be visiting Koro Island tomorrow. The group is currently on its way to deliver Christmas presents for the children of Koro and to facilitate a few awareness programs on the island.
It was important for me to come back home, especially this Christmas time. It's a time of giving and receiving gifts, and I think we can't forget the reason for the season.
Kerevi says he always has time for charity work and makes it even more special when it's his own people here in Fiji.
There's a lot of messages that we as a foundation want to send, and as a charity, messages about our health and well-being, and above a lot of things in education.
Foundation President Ganesh Sen says involving the stars in their program was not easy.
He heard me speak at one of the programs in one of the schools in Australia. It really encouraged him, and he thought, now I really want to help the kids of Fiji.
Kerevi and his team are expected to provide 800 bags of gifts to the kids in Koro tomorrow. Vashnil Prasad, FBC Sports.
18-year-old Junior Ratuva from Nandronga is the newest Fijian wing to join the Melbourne Storm squad, preparing for Australia's National Rugby League next season. Fiji National Rugby League will name its extended squad tomorrow for the upcoming Rugby League Commonwealth Championship in Brisbane next year. About 80 players attended the trials at Bidisi Park yesterday. Fiji Residents head coach Njo Rambele says players in the extended squad will be selected based on their form in the lead up to the competition in February.
We select the best 20 players for the squad. Then we'll monitor them. Like we'll do some training session every weekend. We'll call them for training session. Then we'll do a fitness test for this coming month before the end of the month.
In today's Play of the Day, one of the strangest shots ever made in snooker. Chinese player Chow Yu Peng was put in a tight position during his match with Australian Neil Robertson in the final of this year's Scottish Open, but rather than going for the risky shot, he chose to flip it back to his opponent. That's it from Sports Tonight. Join Angie later on with weather, and in our new media segment, check out the newest smartphone to hit the Fiji market. Details coming up.
Bula, kera mai singatoka, kera ndo tali taka na varorong na Radio Fiji 1 and ndo moi viti.
Ayaw na rin siya. Kombinasyon mo tikola ndo tali taka na Radio Fiji 1 kina ndo moi viti.
Kaya kuyazo sila tali. Nagurara may nawamanyi nandunga gitu tele tajiri yang gitu benesivale na gudorongo barongo na Radio Fiji 1 nandumwe viti
na Radio Fiji 1 nandumwe viti na bonga ni BNN.
A new media first of its kind 4G Plus smartphone is now available in Fiji. It's weather time now with Angie.
Hello there and welcome to the Weather World. It wasn't a dry day for the Easterners, while the others must have had a great one with sunny spells. Let's check it out. Taking a look in the west today, it was mostly cloudy after a few light passing showers. Eastwards from Peck Harbour to Suva, as mentioned earlier, it was a day filled with rain. And up north, it was partly sunny, at least this side had some sunshine. At sea, southeast winds 15 to 20 knots with moderate to rough seas. And for the tides, high tide tonight will be at 8:56 with low tide at 3:26. Sunrise will be at 6:28. For tomorrow, light drizzles are likely, so that shouldn't be much of a trouble. Tomorrow's temps, Suva, Lautoka and Savu will be cool with highs of 29 degrees. And looking further on to our Jolly Good Friday, showers are building and it could even get heavier, but I hope it doesn't. And that's all from the FBC Weather World. Jackie.
Thanks so much for that, Angie. In Fijian Pulse tonight, we asked, what do you think of the dollar prices ahead of Christmas?
I think the current dollar prices are reasonable, as we should also think about the efforts put in by Ndalo farmers.
It's so expensive. Dollar in the market is so expensive.
I think the prices are too high, and they should reduce it because of the festive season. The dollar prices are reasonable because the market vendors are trying to make a living.
In the world of the weird and the wonderful, and old technology is making a comeback with some elements of the U.S. military. Freeze-dried plasma was used routinely in World War II, but discontinued until a month ago when it was reintroduced into the field. Recapping the main story, some ATS workers regret walkout. Sexual offences by police unacceptable, says PM, and police apprehend children out at night. For these stories and others, you can tune in daily to our sister radio station Gold FM. To our poll question this week, we are asking, should more neighbourhood watch zones be set up to counter criminal activities? Visit our FBC website to answer. Before we go, our shot of the day, taken by Sarah Mbaini-Vanua, one of the most popular picnic spots in Dumba. You can send us newsworthy pictures and videos on email fbcnews@fbc.com.fj or share it with us via Facebook page FBC News. You can also follow and tweet us your news tips at FBC_news or simply hashtag FBC News. That was your FBC News for tonight. From the team and I, stay safe. Good night.
Bula, kera mai singatoka, kera ndo talita kana varorong na radio Fiji 1 and domoy viti.
Ayaw na rin siya. Kung minasong mo tikola, ndo talita kana radio Fiji 1 kina domoy viti.
Kaya kuya sila tale, nagurara may nawamanyi, nandunga. Gitu talita gini ang gitu Venezuela, nagudurong barong na radio Fiji 1 na domoy viti.
Na radio Fiji 1 na domoy viti na ponga ni BNN.